take a look at Super Pitfall on the NES. You may already know about the original Pitfall on Atari 2600. That game was awesome, and so was the sequel, Pitfall 2: The Lost Caverns. The concept of these Atari installments was that you control this guy named Pitfall Harry, and you go around the jungle and caverns jumping over shit and collecting treasures. There were a ton of screens to explore and obstacles to avoid. It made a huge impact on the video game market at the time, and is widely regarded as one of the best games on the system. Pitfall in general truly has a place in video game history. 5 years after the original, Activision decided to continue the legacy by releasing Super Pitfall on the Nintendo Entertainment System. The manual tells us that Harry must recover the priceless Raj Diamond from a vast subterranean dwelling high in the Andes Mountains, and to complicate matters, he must also rescue his beloved niece Rhonda and feline friend Quick Claw the Lion, both trapped in the dark, damp depths below. Alright, Harry definitely has his priorities in the wrong order here. How beloved is this niece of his? His first order of business is to get this diamond, but rescuing his niece is just complicating matters? And who the hell is this lion friend that you're saving? That sounds like the part that's complicating matters. Well, it turns out that the niece Rhonda, for some reason or another, has been turned to stone. To cure her, you have to find a flask of medicine, and to save Quick Claw, you need to unlock his cage with a key. Aside from grabbing the diamond, that's all you have to do in this game to beat it. Sounds simple, right? Well, just wait. So once you start the game, you get a screen that looks kinda familiar, doesn't it? Oh yeah, thought so. Harry even kinda looks like Mario with that thick mustache. Now if only the controls were half as good as Mario. The jumping is absolutely terrible. Your movements are choppy, and it's a pain in the ass to get him to jump where you want him to. And it really sucks because you'll have to grab these swinging ropes. Well, they're supposed to be vines, but the graphics suck. Anyway, you're supposed to jump up to grab the end of these vines, and you have to perfectly position Harry in the correct spot to grab it. Now, what the hell is with this death sequence? Is Harry having a seizure, or is he flipping backwards in place while in midair? To defend yourself, you get a gun with 20 bullets. You can get more ammo in the game, but we'll talk about item collecting later. So the B button fires these bullets, but a lot of these enemies you can't even hit. The bullets sail right over the spiders and scorpions. Sure, you can hit them if you jump from a lower level and aim perfectly, but the aiming is automatically difficult due to the shitty jumping. So you're usually left with no choice but to jump over them, which isn't so bad unless they're walking in the direction you're headed. You can't jump over them because you'll land on them, so you have to slowly follow them until they turn around. Come on, you fuck! And I hate these fucking bats. It's bad enough that the controls are as awkward as they are. Finding a way to duck under these bats is a pain in the battered ass, and trying to connect your bullets with them with their sporadic patterns sucks bad shit. Sorry for the bad puns, that was pretty lame. Sometimes after climbing a ladder to the next platform, a bullet will go off for no reason. Why the hell does that happen? And speaking of shit you can't do anything about, sometimes while climbing ladders, you'll just lose your footing and slide down the ladder. The manual says, watch your step on the ladder, Harry may miss his step. First of all, it could cost you a life if you slip and land on an enemy. And secondly, how can you be careful on the ladder if it happens at random and you have no control over it? I think this was a fuck up that the programmers didn't feel like fixing. What's also frustrating is going from place to place. There are a lot of locked doors with an inscription of a spade, club, diamond, or heart on them. To unlock these doors, you'll need to find the appropriate keys, which are supposed to be crystal balls. But the problem is, all these crystal balls are invisible. You have to jump in the vicinity of where the ball is, and it shows up. So naturally, you'll be wanting to jump everywhere to try to find these things. Just walk around, kill the enemies you actually can kill, and jump around trying to find these crystal balls. And what's worse is that, with the exception of gold, which gives you points, and the Raj Diamond, just about every other item in the whole game is invisible too. If you want to find the crystal balls, ammo, or extra lives that for some reason look like this, you have to jump and find them. And sometimes they don't even appear. It's like you've got to hit the exact sweet spot in order to actually see the goddamn thing. The graphics suck too. You're doing a lot of exploring, but the screens are so redundant and repetitive that it's easy to forget where you are. 90% of the entire game is one gigantic level. There's no level advancement like in traditional side-scrollers, so you have to play this game for a long time before you really know your way around it. And when you finally do find your way around it, you'll discover that there's no way out. You've searched every room, every corner, every nook and cranny, and you can't find an escape. You can find the Raj Diamond and the key to unlock Quick Claw's cage, but there's no sign of Quick Claw, no sign of Rhonda, and no sign of the medicine to cure Rhonda. You wander around aimlessly for months playing this shit. Eventually, you may discover that if you wander into the upper left-hand corner of this maze and leap into this dead end, you'll be teleported to a whole different stage. It's referred to as the Underground Kingdom in the manual, but they don't mention even the slightest hint on how to get there. You just have to figure this shit out on your own. If you manage to survive this hellhole, you'll find Rhonda, but she's frozen, and you need the medicine. After searching every room, every corner, every nook and cranny of this fucking place, you'll realize the medicine isn't here either. Well, where the shit is it? There's still no Quick Claw either. Well, guess what? There are more random warps. Where are they? Well, let's go through this train wreck from beginning to end to find out. Alright, if you don't have the manual when you start off, or if you haven't done any internet research, then you're not going to have any idea where you're supposed to go or what you're supposed to do. Nothing is self-explanatory about this game. Anyway, jump right here to the right of this ladder where you start off to stock up on an extra 20 bullets right away. I don't know why all these guns are hidden in the walls, but this game doesn't make any sense anyway. So go down this ladder here and you'll find this body of water. Swim down into this little groove here to go down the waterfall. And I told you the graphics suck. This is a pretty pathetic waterfall. If you go down the waterfall, you see how many levels are passing? You don't want to climb that many to get back up there, so if you want some extra lives, go exploring the area above the waterfall before you go down. It shouldn't take you long. There isn't a whole lot to cover. Just grab as much gold as you can. It gives you a lot more points than shooting enemies. So, whenever you do decide to slide down the waterfall, swim to the left, climb up this ladder, and go up 2 levels up here where you'll find the club crystal. Try to remember that this balloon that's floating around here for reference sake. We'll get back to it later. Keep in mind that just because you grab a club or a diamond or whatever, doesn't mean that you won't find another one. There are a lot more crystals than there are doors. I'm not going to show you every single one of them, but I'll show you all the ones you're going to need. So anyway, you follow this route here I've been taking. Eventually you get to this ladder that'll take you up to numerous floors. The only thing keeping these floors slightly distinct are that the designs of the platforms change every few floors. So after climbing up here for a little while, you'll see this brownish brick pattern. Take a right on the floor right underneath the first one. Now at this point, you might have noticed these red vultures flying at you. They're deadly, and the last thing you'll want to do is jump into one. But if you walk all the way across this area to the end, you may notice that this vulture is flying a little faster and its movement is a little different. Now, wouldn't your first reaction be, this one just simply flies a little different? There couldn't possibly be anything drastically different about this one. Well, it turns out there is. If you jump into it, you'll be warped into a bonus stage. Now, how the hell was I supposed to figure that out? Without any hints whatsoever, you're supposed to assume that this bird with a different flying pattern must be safe to leap into? Obviously not, so it's something you're supposed to discover by accident. So the bonus stage is simply this small area where you can grab gold, some ammo, and extra lives. Just watch out for the occasional enemy. Unfortunately, you won't find Quick Claw or the medicine in this area, so you're gonna have to try somewhere else. Grab all the shit you need and get out. How do you get out? Well, everyone knows that this random location right here is the way out, right? Yeah. When you come back, that crazy bird is gone. So if you stumbled upon him by freak accident and didn't notice how fast he was, you'd never have learned anything about the warp. You'd come back thinking, shit, what was that all about? And you'd just be as clueless about the game as before, only a little more confused. So anyway, once you're done with this little bonus stage thingy, go back to the ladder you came from and climb up 1 story to the first brown brick level. You'll find a door with a club inscribed in it. Since you have the club crystal, the door will open. Now, there's nothing inside, so at first you're like, what the hell is this shit? If you jump around, you'll find a diamond crystal. Then make your way back to the ladder, climb up 2 floors, pass by this waterfall, and you'll find this ladder just at the end. It'll take you up to this room where if you jump around, you'll find the heart crystal. Go back to the long ladder again and climb up to the very top where the snake is occupying. When he pops up like that, that's when you want to fire at him. Jump around and you'll find the spade crystal and a gun. Now you want to head back down. At this point, you have a spade, a heart, and a diamond. You're going to be using all 3 pretty soon. First, go back to the waterfall area with the 2 swinging vines, if you want to call them that. Go to the left, and you're going to be climbing up the waterfall you came down originally by going up all these levels.